The 2014 Victorian Young Business Women's Award winner is Mia Klitsas from
When I quit my corporate job 10 years ago, it was my first corporate job, I certainly never thought that I would be standing up here tonight as the recipient of this award. I'm blown away. Actually, when I resigned, my then boss actually told me that I would never get a better job. He was right. I didn't get a better job. I got the best job. I secretly hope he sees this on YouTube tomorrow. But really, it's truly been such an honour to have even been part of these awards. I've met some incredible women over the last couple of weeks, and I admire every single one of the finalists. I've learnt so much from you. I'm just really proud to be among you, so thank you. Enormous thank you to the Telstra Business Women's Awards and their sponsors, CBA, particularly the Women in Focus program, and News Corp also, just for providing a platform for women to be able to recognise each other's achievements, but also to celebrate them. It's incredible, and 20 years in, it's a phenomenal achievement. It actually took me nearly the 10 years that I've been in business to actually fill out the application that has led to this award, because I never really thought that I was worthy enough or that I was experienced enough, and my achievements weren't impressive enough. But I've certainly fallen victim myself to what Arianna Huffington, a huge inspiration of mine, calls the obnoxious roommate. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of that, but that's the voice that lives inside our head that tells us we're not good enough. And that was certainly me. So as I said, my first corporate job was quite difficult, and I had a really tough time there, unfortunately. I was in an environment whereby I wasn't appreciated, I was discriminated against because I was a young woman, and I wasn't taken seriously. And for a while, I started to believe all that stuff, but I soon realised that if my leaders wouldn't help me rise above that adversity, then I would have to go out there and create an environment on my own where that adversity just simply didn't exist, whilst of course doing something that I loved. And that's when I started my business, Million More, after a very crazy off-the-cuff idea that my now business partner and I had to put tampons in tins to simply stop them rolling around in my handbag. So with a marketing degree and absolutely no experience in running a business and a lot of guts, I set out on my journey not only to deliver a product to women that was functionally really beneficial, but I was just really determined to establish that environment that I longed for, that corporate environment. So in late 2005, the Moxie brand was born, complete in the reusable, recyclable tins. And we launched into all major retailers in Australia, and also launched internationally, which is really exciting. And it was the first of its kind in the world, and 10 years later it still spins me out. Even tonight I've met women who have said, "Oh wow, that's you," opened up their handbags and there's a Moxie tin. So it's really inspiring to see. So from a selfish perspective, my business has really allowed me the opportunity to create and foster a really wonderful corporate culture with incredible people. I'm so lucky. So much so that, of course, it doesn't feel like a job. But perhaps more importantly, it's been a springboard for me to generate awareness and drive positive change for the women's issues that I'm truly passionate about. So last year I actually read an online article that talked about the really high rates of school absenteeism amongst young girls in Uganda. And that's simply because they can't adequately manage their periods. So girls are missing 4 to 5 days of school a month. A lot of them are eventually dropping out and making many poor choices, unfortunately, just because they can't manage their periods. And so I felt an immediate sense of responsibility and identified a really simple solution to an absolutely enormous problem. And so I realised that simply by redistributing a good chunk of our profits, I just had that moment where I realised that there was perhaps a much more meaningful reason for me to be in business. Tampons and tins were great, but surely there was more than that. So last year, with the help of my team, I championed an initiative called Pads for Pads, and that supports young Ugandan schoolgirls with sustainable, reusable, locally made menstrual hygiene solutions and education, so that they can better manage their cycles with dignity and comfort and continue their schooling uninterrupted by their periods. The reusable pads we donate are made locally in Uganda by over 120 women, all of whom are financially independent now. Previously they were unemployed. And I'm just really proud to say that in the last year we've supported 7,000 young girls, each with a year's supply of product and associated education. Thank you. Thank you. And counting, and not to mention the further domino effect and the positive impact that those girls having an education will have on future generations for those communities. So I'm really excited to go back to Uganda next year as part of my journey and see many of these girls graduate, forging careers as doctors, nurses, politicians. They're so driven, it's incredible. And in the meantime, I'm really committed to continuing my work with Australian schoolgirls and just really trying to help educate them on the importance of opening up the conversation about women's issues and being the drivers and voices for change, particularly for the women that are yet to find their own voice. To me, that's what being in business is really, really about, and that's why I really wanted to share that particular story with you. Thank you enormously to my forever supportive husband who has put up with a lot over the years. My amazing family who are here tonight. I'm so glad I invited Mum and Dad. They put up with me working out of their study for the first couple of years, cutting the bottom of old deodorant cans, trying to make prototype Moxie tins. That was interesting. And of course the team at Million More for sharing my passion and coming to work with a smile on their faces every day and being my family, really. And particularly to my business partner, Jeff Gore. You're incredible. Your patience and guidance along the way, and just for helping me live the dream. I certainly wouldn't have done it without you. I'm just really so proud that we've created an environment whereby everyone's opinions and values are heard and appreciated, one where men and women are treated equally, one where there is no discrimination, and certainly no gender pay gap. Thank you to all who have come on this journey with me, and I really hope that with this award, I can encourage other young women to start their own journeys and be the change that they want to see for future generations of women in the workforce, no matter how much or what kind of adversity they face. Thank you.